Oakland Coliseum on another hot night. It was 90 degrees in downtown Oakland, and the weather certainly hasn't cooled off considerably, even though we go into the evening. First ball ceremonies are about ready to get underway. Rock Hudson, who plays the police commissioner of San Francisco in the television series McMillan and Wife, will throw out the first ball.
The A's had an insurance run in a force play and turn over the lockup chore to none other than Raleigh Fingers.
Great play! Great, fantastic play!
Here's a second look as Dick Green makes a spectacular play to initiate a game-ending double play. Green's acrobatic fielding has foiled the Dodgers all series long, and the A's now are just one victory away from their third consecutive championship, a feat accomplished by only one previous organization, the New York Yankees. Don Sutton surrenders a leadoff single to Campaneris in the first inning of Game 5. Campy's forced at second, but Bill North outraces the relay. North's off and running. The steal, along with Yeager's throwing error, puts North on third with one out and Sal Bando the batter.
Sutton throws a change out to center field. Back goes Buckner. He's got it. North tags, and it'll be 1-0 Oakland.
Number 10, Ray Fosse.
The strike one pitch from the right-hander Sutton. And there's the curve hit deep to left field. Back goes Buckner. The curveball is hit out of here, and it's 2-0. Fosse gets the home run.
Ray Fosse's solo home run makes the score 2-0 Oakland.
Back in Oakland, California for the A's third inning, and it'll be North, Bando, and Jackson to face Don Sutton. North forced Campaneris back in the first inning. When he stole second base, he drew a wild throw from catcher Steve Yeager, went on to third, and Bando sacrificed line drive to left, scored him with the first of the two Oakland runs. The second run came on Fosse's home run off a hanging Don Sutton curveball in the second inning. Stan Musial, Ernie Banks in attendance in the commissioner's box tonight. Two great players. Banks a sure shot for the Hall of Fame. First pitch North, he jams him, pops him up. Say at third base says, "I've got this one." And halfway to home takes it. North hits the first pitch and pops out, and that'll bring up Bando.
Third baseman, Sal Bando.
Bando, in Game 3 of the American League Championships, his home run gave Vita Blue the only run he needed to win 1-0.
Well, there's one in the dirt.
I think the story of the series is still the A's are executing. Bando got the long fly when they needed it. The throw by Fosse. They're making the right plays at the right time.
It was not an easy pickup and tag by Campaneris at second base. Pitch it inside a ball in the playoffs against Baltimore in one of the early games. Fosse made a throw like that, a little longer bounce out even for Dick Green, the second baseman of the A's, and he made the pickup and the tag at a very crucial time in a tight game. Bando hits one to deep center field, but Wynn should have it. He's got it.
Bando's swinging the bat better tonight than we've seen him any time in the series.
Seeing these guys for the second time around, Kurt, I felt last night that was one of the reasons we had a little more excitement. The A's had not seen the Dodger pitchers and vice versa, and this is the second time these batters are seeing these men now in just a 4-day period. You've got to know a little more about them.
These two clubs were strangers. They'd only played against each other once, and that was in an exhibition game last year.
Scouting report can tell you, and I'm sure both clubs had excellent scouting reports, how a pitcher throws, but until you see him under fire, you really don't know exactly. We've talked a lot about scouting reports. I think credit should go to some of the scouts. Al Hollingsworth scouted the Dodgers. Reggie Jackson. Hollingsworth is the same man who turned in the scouting report on the Cincinnati Reds in 1972. The A's gave so much praise to. don't know who scouted the A's for the Dodgers. There were 2 or 3 of them around, and I understand that the National League scouts pooled their scouting reports on the A's to give to the Dodgers. Strike. It's called 1-1. He got it past him. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jackson, the MVP in the series last year. It was a very close decision between him and Bert Campaneris. Many felt that Campaneris should have had the MVP, but Jackson got it, got the car, and gave it away. He went around, and Reggie Jackson is out, and so are the A's. And through 3 innings of play, the score remains the Oakland A's 2, the Los Angeles Dodgers nothing. Top half of the 4th inning. Dodgers have 2 hits, the A's have 3. The score is 2-0 Oakland. Here is Jimmy Wynn. Off the glove of Vida Blue to Bert Campaneris, and he throws him out. I believe Vida tipped that ball. I'm not absolutely certain.
I think he did, Monty, but the trend continues defensively for the A's. They always seem to be in the right place at the right time. Ball on the outside corner. Jimmy Wynn refuses to give in. He's still trying to pull that lone outside pitch off the glove of Vida. And Campaneris is there. Look at Dick Green backing up the play. They're really hustling.
Here's Garvey, the Dodger first baseman, looking at a high breaking ball.
Blue showed you what kind of an athlete he was, how high he went in the air off the mound. He was a great all-around athlete in high school, football, baseball, basketball.
Fouled off. Yeah, Vida threw 35 touchdown passes his senior year in high school.
Sometimes he threatens to go into football.
I think those days are gone when he's threatening that. Fly ball to left field. Claudell Washington makes the catch. There are 2 down.
Monty, I think that might be a key for Vida the remainder of this ball game. If he can throw the curveball over the plate once in a while for strikes, gives those hitters that extra pitch to look for. If he loses it, they're going to sit back and wait for the fastball.
Did you see Vida right then? He indicated, I think, his determination here tonight. He doubled up his fist and yelled out and pointed out to Claudell Washington there as if to say that's the way to go. Here's Joe Ferguson. There's a long drive to left field. That ball is just a matter of fair or foul, whether it's a home run, and it is a foul ball. Joe Ferguson taking a shot at the 335-foot-long foul pole. He had a base hit off Vida on a breaking ball before, and that one looked like it might have been a breaking ball up and in on him a little bit. That's one of those hit it and look a long time.
He hit the home run over the center field wall against Blue in Los Angeles.
And you didn't get to watch that one very long. It went out too quickly. Boy, he really smashed one. Vida probably try to go away from him. Right back in there, knee-high strike call. Look at that National League umpire on his knees to get down where his eyes are almost on the same level as that pitch coming in. Breaking ball, he got him looking. Vida Blue breezes through the 4th inning of the score after 3 1/2. The Oakland A's 2, the Los Angeles Dodgers nothing. Joe Rudy to lead off for the Oakland A's in the last half of the 4th inning. The A's have had 3 hits. They've made them count for 2 runs, and that's been the story of this Oakland ball club throughout the last pressurized couple of weeks. And believe me, through playoff baseball and into World Series, there's a lot of pressure. Rudy hit that ball high and deep to left. Buckner should have a play. He's got it right in the corner. The managing general partner of the Oakland Raiders, Al Davis. Great success story and a great sport. Talking with Carl Lindemann
there, and Al Davis's wife. Al's quite an Oakland A's baseball fan.
And a very studious one, too. You know, when he doesn't understand something that happens on the field, he comes and asks, why did they do that? And not as a second guesser, he wants to know. Claudell Washington bloops one into right field, base hit. Claudell Washington continues to hit them where they ain't, as they say here in Oakland. He has had a magic wand.
Oh, you have to like his future, Monty, only 20 years old.
Last time he was up, Sutton broke a bat right in half, hitting him right there. And this time he gets the same pitch and horses it out into right field. 1 out, 1 on in the 4th inning.
Claudel has a little bit, I think, of Roberto Clemente in him. As soon as ball hits bat, he doesn't stop. He just goes and makes that turn at first.
Here's Ray Fosse, who hit one out of here a little while ago. Breaking ball, a delayed steal by Claudel Washington, and they got him. Claudel Washington looked like he took off on a delayed steal. At least he got a bad jump off first base, and Yeager got a tough pitch to handle.
What a player tries to do on that is wait till the ball is thrown, and the catcher, shortstop, and second baseman have to take their eye off the base runner, and he hopes that they will not cover the bag. But both Russell and Lopes were very alert, and Lopes got spiked. He got that glove hand pinned between the bag and Claudel Washington's spike.
One man called me today, said he was a cousin of Al Lopez's, former great manager of the White Sox and the Cleveland Indians, said, "You're mispronouncing his name. It's not Lopes, it's Lopez. Lopes is of Portuguese descent." And he said the correct pronunciation is Lopes of Providence, Rhode Island.
Ray Fosse up with a count of 1 ball and no strikes. Boy, Yeager made quite a play right there, and we can't let that go by. He got a tough pitch to handle. Breaking ball right in there for a strike. Out on the $1 million message scoreboard here, the world champion A's salute Harry Coyle, director of 28 consecutive World Series telecasts for NBC TV. Call strike outside, and I can say this, Kurt, the 3 years I've worked with you fellows, I never continue to be amazed at the amount of work that the people down in those trucks and throughout this NBC television crew do to put on these telecasts better every day. Fosse hits a comebacker to Sutton, and that retires the A's. We've gone through 4 innings very quickly. The scores, the Oakland A's 2 and the Los Angeles Dodgers nothing. Well, we go to the top half of the 5th inning, and this game is really moving quickly. The A's have 4 hits, the Dodgers have 2, and the batter for the Dodgers is Ron Say. He's had one of the Dodger hits, a single to left. He takes high ball 1. Incidentally, we've found the men who did the scouting for the Dodgers against the Oakland A's: Ben Wade, Reggie Otero, and Ed Levatore. Pitch it outside and high ball 2. Fosse will talk to Vida. Vida coming inside, missing 3-0. That's low, ball 4. Vida walks Say ahead of Russell to start the 5th inning.
He walked 2 in Los Angeles in 7 innings. That's his 2nd walk tonight.
The ball really carries here in this ballpark in this kind of weather. It's warm, and you've seen some balls hit pretty well here tonight. Some foul. Fosse's just jumped out of here. Russell flied to right center field his first time up.
Still no activity in the Dodger bullpen. A couple of men get on. Walter Olson might have to make a decision with Sutton.
Vida, after missing with 4 fastballs in a row, threw a breaking ball over for a strike on the first pitch to Russell. And that's another gimmick of Ray Fosse's in catching Vida. When that fastball is taking off, as it seemed to be for 4 pitches there, he figured that just by turning his wrist over on a breaking ball to get him back on track. There's a bouncing ball to Campaneris. To Green for 1. To Rudy, got them both.
They don't mess up around the bag.
Let's look at it. Taylor made, well, we had a pretty good jump off first base. And look at Dick Green. He very rarely gets upset. It's something that, look at Luciano put it out. Something that he learned early in his career from a former second base partner of mine, Bobby Richardson. To stay loose, get rid of the ball, and take that little hop. Look at Ron. He was on a Joe Garagiola pregame show, I guess it was last year. He's something. He's a bird watcher.
Steve Yeager up, and Vida's breaking ball doesn't take that time. It's high for ball 1.
They had Luciano wired up for the World Series film, and Tommy Lasorda.
Will you stop talking to yourself?
But that's not too bad, Ron. That's when I start answering myself that you're really in trouble in this game.
They call it the Italian World Series.
Vida's fastball tailing away from Yeager, who had a good cut at it. He asked the plate umpire, Yeager did, if that pitch were over the plate. And Olson signaled yes. I think the umpiring in this series has really been sensational. Every replay has shown that they are right on it. And boy, I don't think those men aren't under pressure in a World Series.
The way it is most of the season.
And the place where most of the squabbling comes about is not on the bases, it's behind the plate. We've had very few hitters argue on balls and strikes, or catchers too.
Swinging strike, it's 2-2. Just two good clubs with good pitchers. They're always around the corners. It has not been an easy series to hunt behind the plate. Came back in with a breaking ball, and Vida Blue's having one of his big nights here at the Coliseum. The score at the halfway point of the game. Well, we've approached the halfway mark of the ball game, and the A's are leading the Dodgers 2-0, and it's time for the switch over in announcers. And Tony, you guys make it awfully easy up here for the visitors, and Kurt, it's a pleasure working with you again.
Well, you did a fine job with us, Monty, for your third year in a row. If we go back to Los Angeles, Monty will switch over to NBC Radio, and Vin Scully, the broadcaster of the Dodgers, will join us on television. Superb job.
Thank you very much, Kurt. Here we go now with the last half of the ball game, and NBC's Kurt Gowdy to take you home.
Dick Green. Line to center his first time. Don Sutton. The pitch is hit in the air out into deep right center. Ferguson going back. There, and he has it, one down. Sutton gave up a run in the first, a run in the second. He settled down since. Well, he's up against a rugged foe tonight in Vida Blue. Vida Blue getting a hand from the over 49,000 fans here in the Oakland Coliseum. Blue took a call, third strike his first time. 0-1 to him. That's strike three to Vida Blue. 2 down for the A's. Top of the order coming up now. Bert Campaneris, who singled and flied to right. Hard to figure how Sutton could go 2 months without a victory with the kind of stuff he has. But that's what happened to him in the 1974 season. He won his 6th game of the season on May 14th. He did not win number 7 until July 25th. He had wound up with 19 wins. 0-1 to Bert Campaneris. The A's are in front 2-0 on the NBC scoreboard. Clinched a little bit on that one.
Kurt, but the good pitchers like Sutton and Hunter can come right back and have just as big a winning streak. Hunter at one time this year was 8-8, with the A's ended up 25-12.
Campaneris hit the fly ball to left fielder Buckner, and the A's go quietly in the 5th. At the end of 5, it's Oakland 2, Los Angeles 0. Mike Marshall warming up in the Dodger bullpen. The Dodgers are making their move. Tom Paciorek is batting for Don Sutton. And he hits the first pitch on a line in the left center. Washington trying to flag it down. Paciorek going for extra bases. In the second, holds there, the relay. Comes into Campaneris. Paciorek is the first ball hitter, and he lined that one to left center for a double. Now the top of the order coming up to Los Angeles.
Here from our center field camera, that base hit. Washington tried to outrun the ball in left center field. He couldn't catch it. Now he goes after his cutoff man, Bert Campaneris. Backed up by Green.
Vida Blue coasts into the 6th inning with a 2-hit shutout. Tom Paciorek's pinch hit double revives Los Angeles hopes. And we're getting action now in the Oakland bullpen. Dave Lopes has grounded out a walk. The pitch is high and away to him. That's Blue Moon Odom on the right and Paul Lindblad, the left-hander. Paciorek at second, nobody out. The A's ahead 2-0. It's the 6th inning. Breaking pitch hangs high to him. 2 balls and a strike. Fosse had to go out after that one. 3-2. Walter Alston hoping. Goes Alvin Dark.
This is the biggest pitch Vida's had to make in the ballgame so far, right here.
Two pitch coming up to Dave Lopes. He walked him, and the Dodgers have the tying runs on. Nobody out on the top of the 6th inning.
Monty, you've seen Blue all season long, and the first 5, he was down around the knees with a fastball, with a breaking ball. All of a sudden, he's thrown 4 consecutive pitches, 3 fastballs, and the curveball above the belt. He's gone wild high and away to the right-handed hitters.
Dark has been quick with a hook in this World Series.
Well, a lot of people have felt, particularly the players, the pitchers, have felt that way all year. But when you have a bullpen, the kind of bullpen the Oakland A's have, you can afford to be that way. And in this important of a ball game, you really can't take too much of a chance of leaving a guy out there very long. There's a lot of money at stake. There's a lot of prestige at stake. It's Lindblad and Odom working out there. Walter Alston is calling his third base coach, Tommy Lasorda, over. And he might be going to remind the runners of the Dodgers of the A's trick plays on defense. With Buckner up against the left-hander, it's almost a sure thing that he would be bunting here.
Everybody will be on the move if this ball's laid down. Bando and Rudy charging. Blue coming off the mound. Fosse going out in front of the plate. Green to cover second. Campaneris to cover second, and Green to cover first. And he dumps it perfectly to Bando. The play goes to Green at first base. An excellent sacrifice by Buckner, and he moves the tying runs in a scoring position. Lasorda says, nice going, Tom.
Excellent bunt is right. You bunt it hard enough to make the third baseman feel it, but if you bunt it too hard, he's got the play at second base for the force out.
Tony, it looks simple, but we've seen so many times some of the hitters just can't execute it.
And that's been part of the difference in this series so far. Execution on the part of the A's and cutoffs, base running, etc. Making the plays. The Dodgers, not as well.
All right, Ray Fosse signals to his mates, 1 out. The infield's playing back with the A's ahead 2-0. They'll concede a run and a ground ball. There's a high fly ball. He got under it a little bit too much. The tag at third by Paciorek. Claudel Washington has it. He's throwing to third base. The proper throw in the score is Paciorek. He tried to rainbow it into the plate. Lopes would have tagged at second and gone on to third.
And another high pitch that Jimmy Wynn just missed. He got under it just that fraction of an inch.
Lopes follows with a walk, and Buckner sacrifices to move both runners into scoring position for Jimmy Wynn. Wynn's sacrifice fly scores Paciorek, and the A's lead now is cut in half. They'll give Wynn a sacrifice fly, and now it's 2-1 Oakland. Steve Garvey, the leading hitter in this World Series. He's been very impressive. A 1-2 pitch to Garvey. Garvey pounds it into left field. Lopes rounds third. He's coming in to score and is tied up. And Garvey continues to hit for the Dodgers. Steve Garvey's solid single delivers Lopes, and the Dodgers tie it up 2-2.
It all started, Kurt and Monty, I think, when Vida lost that curveball up in the strike zone. He threw a couple high, and then he stopped going to it.
He's a dangerous man now if he gets a high fastball into him. And there's his breaking pitch for a strike.
You know, sometimes it just takes one guy to turn a ball club around, and when Paciorek climbed off that bench and hit Vida's first pitch for a double, it just seemed to pick the Dodgers up, and they've been going from there.
Joe Ferguson with a strike, fouls it away, and he's 0-2. Fastball too low. 1-2. Garvey with a two-step lead at first. There's the curve, high and away. It's 2-2 to Joe Ferguson. The 2-2 pitch. There's a high fly out to left fielder Washington, who barely has to move. The side's out, but the Dodgers tied it with 2 runs on 2 hits their last one. In at 5.5, 2-2. Of course, if the A's win tonight, the World Series over, but if the Dodgers win, we'll move back to Los Angeles Saturday for Game 6. It'll start at 3:30 Eastern Time, and at 3:30, we'll have the baseball world of Joe Garagiola, preceding World Series game number 6.
Kurt, interesting, too, if it should go to 6 and back to L.A. with Marshall coming into the ball game, there was talk he might be the starter for the 6th game. Could be Downing, could be Huff, could go with Rao, could go with the whole pitching staff of the Dodgers.
There's Claude Akins, the star of Moving On that you see on NBC, taking in World Series game number 5.
He doesn't look so
usually
tough.
see it on Thursday nights.
He doesn't look so tough right there with a little smile.
There's a ground ball to second baseman Lopes. Picked it up, and Bill North is out. Going after the first pitch. Marshall has been extremely difficult for the A's. Marshall has pitched 6 1/3 innings now. Has allowed just 4 hits, no runs. He struck out 6 and walked 1. Sal Bando. Sacrifice fly to left in the first, a long fly to center field in the third. Low and inside for a ball. And if the Dodgers win tonight in Game 6 in Los Angeles, Catfish Hunter would be pitching for the A's, and I don't believe Walter Olson could tell you right now who'd be pitching for the Dodgers. Possibly they come back with Messersmith. There's Jackson on deck. With 2 days rest. The 2 edges, many experts picked the Dodgers in the series on their 102 wins during the regular season, a slide edge. But the 2 edges the A's had was a 3rd starting pitcher with Tommy John injured and previous World Series experience. The poise and playing under pressure before. What a changeup.
That's the screwball. Let's take a look at the screwball. From center field, watch the elbow, if you can. How that... That's the one that looks like a curve. It was away from a right-handed hitter, but actually is a crazy kind of screwball that Marshall throws.
And Marshall right now is a pitcher of record for the Dodgers. 2 down, bases empty. Reggie Jackson waving at it. He has befuddled the A's.
The A's have had trouble, Kurt, over the years with off-speed pitching, and of course Marshall has shown a lot of it here in this series, and people are wondering, he's been in every game, how long he can go. He pitched in 13 straight games once this year.
Well, he pitched 106 games. I think he'd go every day this winter if he has to. Just a marvel. A ball and 1 strike to Jackson. Look where they're playing Jackson in the outfield toward left field. Normally they play Jackson as a pull hitter, most teams. But you see Buckner way over in left. You see Wynn in left center. And Ferguson pulled over in right center, leaving the right field corner for Jackson. Jackson pounds it out to second baseman Lopes. The side's out, 1, 2, 3. We're going to the 7th inning with the game tied 2-2. Well, depending on what happens here tonight, if the Dodgers win and go back to L.A. and win the 6th game, and we have a World Series in the 7th game, then we'd have a football-baseball doubleheader starting at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Baltimore against the Jets, Cleveland Browns in Pittsburgh, New England against Buffalo, followed by World Series game number 7. Or, if the World Series is over before Sunday, we'd have a football doubleheader, Baltimore and the Jets, Cleveland and Pittsburgh, New England and Buffalo at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, San Diego versus Denver, Kansas City versus Miami, and right here in the Oakland Coliseum, Cincinnati Bengals against the Oakland Raiders. Check your local listings for the games in your area. Ron Say pops up the first pitch. Dick Green, the A's second baseman, squeezes it for out number 1. Say had been on twice with a single and a base on ball. That's the World Championship trophy. The A's win tonight. They'll be awarded that trophy in their locker room by Commissioner Bowie Kuhn.
Kurt, the first year the A's won the World Series in 1972, Charlie Finley had a duplicate copy of one of those made for every player.
Now the Dodgers still are going to have a say about who gets that trophy. 3 times in World Series history has the club come back to win the series down 3 games to 1. Bando up for it. And Russell is out. 2 down in the 7th. 1925. Here's the replay of Bando. He didn't go too high on this one.
He was playing shallow. Russell runs well, does bunt on occasion. He has a very accurate arm, as you see right there.
In 25, Pittsburgh was down 3-1 and beat Washington. 58, the Yankees were trailing Milwaukee 3-1 and won the series. And the Tigers made the comeback against the Cardinals in 68. That one is sailing toward the seat, out of play. That's the World Series in 68, in which Mickey Lolich was the star, winning 3 games.
And hitting a big home run.
There's a long fly ball. Way back, it might be out of here. Home run! Holy cow!
Watch this in this dugout now.
Look at the grin.
Yeager struck out twice, both swinging, both on breaking pitches. The game tied 2-2 in the 7th. Lindblad and Odom are still heating up in the A's bullpen. Flying away. We haven't seen Lindblad in the series, but he's been an excellent reliever this year, hasn't he, Monty?
Fantastic. He has the best earned run average on the Oakland Ball Club. Well under 2.
2-1.
Kind of an adjustment we talked about that Blue made in the first ball game, he has done now since he came out for this inning. Early, he was going over the top of his head in his windup. Now watch him. He'll go right from his waist. Something Wes Stock has picked up.
3 balls and a strike to Yeager.
He did it in the 4th inning, his last start, and he got that fastball back. Here he is again. And again, in ball player lingo, he was getting his body ahead of his arm.
He walks Yeager with 2 down. Mike Marshall, the Dodger pitcher, will come up. Professor Marshall, if you will.
Go back at the end of the season and conduct some classes at Michigan State with kinesiology. He had Steve Garvey's wife as a student, Herb Washington as a student.
What a year he had. He set the National League record for most appearances last year with Montreal and broke it with the Dodgers this year. Laughed at it. Not bad hitter. Used to be a shortstop. He hit .235 this year for the Dodgers. Any pitcher batting over 200 is a better than average hitting pitcher.
He won a ball game for this club late in the season against the Cubs as a base runner when home plate was left unoccupied.
Blue is behind the opposing pitcher 2-0, and now Dark is going to put the hook on. He signals out to John Odom. Come on. Gone far enough, 2 down. Blue has just walked Yeager. Here's Blue Moon Odom coming on with a count 2-0 to Mike Marshall. We have a break in the action with a score tied to...
Page control to DuPont. DuPont throws it and scores! Pandemonium of last year's Stanley Cup final. Who'll take the cup this year? Find out when the NHL returns to NBC Sunday, January 5th.
Well, you saw the World Series World Championship trophy. That was the Stanley Cup in hockey. NBC again with its coverage of the National Hockey League. Vida Blue's been walking it off up and down the Oakland dugout. He's gone. He went 6 2/3 innings, allowed 2 runs and 4 hits. The walk to Yeager and then a 2-ball, no-strike count to Marshall got him out. The 19th consecutive series game that we have not had a complete game by either team. Odom pitching to Marshall. Ball 3. If Odom walks Marshall, the walk would be charged to the preceding pitcher, Vida Blue.
Kurt, this is a pretty tough situation for John Odom. He has trouble finding the plate early when he comes in out of that bullpen at times. He's been a real good middle inning relief man, but
he walked him, and he wasn't close.
That's a tough situation for John Odom to come in with a 2-0 count. He's done a tremendous job for Oakland in middle relief, coming in when the ball club is behind 3-1, 4-1, and with a job of holding the other ball club for 3 or 4 innings to allow either a Lindblad or Fingers to get in. He's in a very tough situation right here.
All right, the Dodgers have Yeager at second, Marshall at first, 2 outs. The top of the order, and Dave Lopes. Lopes is grounded out and walked twice, 0 for 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lopes hits a ground ball to short. Campaneris to Green, force out. No runs, no hits, 2 left. The 7th inning stretch in Oakland. It's still tied 2-2.
1 away in the 5th. Joe Rudi, has struck out and fouled out. Third base coach John McNamara making that play. And a base hit. Rudy's on. That sounded like a hollow smack off the bat. Didn't hit it well, but it hit it well enough.
Joe Rudi has singled and sent a long fly to left field. And now we have action, a different action in the A's bullpen. Raleigh Fingers is up. Some of the shots you see with our 9 cameras. And the umpire's out talking to the left fielder, Buckner. We were talking about Harry Coyle earlier, and I want to say that I am amazed every year the production job done. The players on the field are the star of the World Series. We're the voices here, but I think for your TV enjoyment, the cameramen, the audio men, it's a small electronic city outside this stadium with over 100 people involved. The technical director, Gene Schwartz, in charge for setting it all up. Harry Coyle, 9 pictures in front of him. He must make instantaneous decisions. And our producer, Roy Hammerman, who was nominated last year for an Emmy Award for his production of the World Series. Give them the credit if you're enjoying World Series 74.
The delay is because Bill Buckner had some papers showered on him in left field. He asked the left field umpire, Doug Harvey, to come on out and stop the action. Yeager, smart enough to pull his mask up to blow this bubble. And he won it all yesterday on the Joe Garagiola show. Beating out Andy Messersmith.
I thought he won it, going away.
The Dodgers are walking off the field, or some of them, Buckner especially. Now Alston is coming out. They've made a PA announcement to urge the fans to discontinue throwing debris on the field. Walner's going to have a talk with them. We saw it during the playoffs in Pittsburgh where Danny Murtaugh went out and calmed the people down.
They've thrown some heavy obstacles out there, Kurt. There was a bottle thrown out there.
The bottle that was thrown out. He's mad about it. He should be.
That's one thing. There was something else thrown at Buckner. We had one game here this year, Kurt, where Billy North was after a baseball and something whizzed by him, and when he caught the ball and went back over to see where it was, there was a knife sticking in the grass out there, right where he had been running, huh?
A knife?
Yes, right. It was sticking right in the ground, right where he had been. It's really hard to imagine what comes onto some fan who would throw something like that. They came out here to enjoy good baseball, and it can't be played as long as they're behaving like that.
Well, we're set to go in the last of the 7th. World Series game number 5 is tied at 2-all. Joe Rudi's the batter. And everything's quieted down again. The A's have not scored since the 2nd. And Ray Fosse homered. There's a long drive. Part of the home run is during the delay of the game when the object was thrown in left field. Mike Marshall did not take one warm-up pitch. In fact, he walked out toward left field to get into the argument out there. He didn't take one warm-up pitch, and maybe that cost him. The A's turn at bat in the bottom of the 7th is delayed by a fan's disturbance in the outfield. Pitcher Mike Marshall vacates the mound to join in the discussion, but refuses the opportunity for a few extra warm-up tosses when play resumes. With Joe Rudi at the plate, Marshall says he's ready, and Rudi guesses fastball. run has the A's on top.
That's the first run the A's have off Mike Marshall in 7 innings of relief. Two homers by the A's tonight, Fosse and Rudy, each with nobody on. Washington looking down the third for his time. Hitter takes. There's a pop foul. May be playable. Say going over. Has plenty of room in this big open foul ground in the Oakland Coliseum. 1 down. Ray Fosse homered in the second, bounced to the pitcher in the fourth. The A's ahead 3-2. When Rudy goes to first base, I'll bet the fans in left field, his regular rooters, will give him a hand. Rudy's rooters out there, but they're a long ways from where Joe Rudy is now. A strike, although they could put Rudy back and left and bring Gene Tennis in as first base.
Now that they've got that lead, they very well could make that move, Kurt.
An interesting observation, that lineup change. That ball is tapped foul. The A's players, all of you know, are outspoken. They speak their minds. They say that when they bring Rudy into first base, that weakens the A's at left field and also weakens the A's at first base. The Tennis is a better first baseman than Rudy, and nobody can match Rudy in left field. They don't like the change.
I think that might have been true before Claudel Washington, but he is an excellent outfielder.
Fosse is the second strikeout victim of Mike Marshall. So the A's have 2 down. Right now, 1 swing of the bat on the first pitch. To Joe Rudy, the difference in this game after we had a delay of over 5 minutes to clear the field of objects thrown there in left field. Dick Green is lined to center and flying to right. You know, he hasn't had a hit. He's in the running for the most valuable player of the series.
Not since Brooks Robinson dominated the series in, I forget what year, but he had a fantastic series against Pittsburgh defensively.
Jim Holt has come out on deck. The ball. Jim Holt. If Green would get on, he would pinch hit for Odom. And Fingers would come on in the 8th inning. A 1-1 delivery. Foul away.
Holt, who came on last night in the ball game and got the big hit with the bases loaded, driving home 2 in that sensational play at home plate. Jackson upsetting Yeager.
The unlikely hero last night. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He taps that one to third. It's foul. The Penguin up with it. Dodgers have used over 45 players at third in the last 10 years. Now they have one that they should be all set for quite a spell. Ron Say finally found their man. It's odd how some clubs have one trouble filling a position. Seems to be a jinx position in every club. He waved at the screwball way outside. 1 run, 1 hit, the home run by Joe Rudy. Nobody left. Out in their hero now in his customary left field position, and Gene Tennis has gone in to play first base. Claudel Washington has been taken out, and Raleigh Fingers is the new pitcher. Fingers' first delivery to Bill Buckner is 0-1. There's his record in World Series competition. His 4th game in this series, and his 16th lifetime World Series game in relief. That's a series record. An all-time World Series record. He buzzes a fastball over. And a crowd roaring now in every pitch here in Oakland. The old record was 12 World Series appearances by Clem Labine. 16 for Raleigh Fingers, all in the last 3 years. Off-speed pitches, tapped foul.
Fingers a power pitcher. He has that fastball that sinks and moves away from a left-hander. They come from the side on the right-handed hitters. And has a good slider.
And he's facing a difficult out, Bill Buckner. Buckner lines it into right center, and the Dodgers have the tying run on. Ball gets away. And on to second. North played that casually. He's coming on to third to throw. Out! Well, there's a play that'll be talked about. North let the ball get away from him as he played it casually out there. Jackson backed it up, and Dick Green made the throw.
And the Dodgers get burned on good execution on a relay play. Reggie Jackson backing up the play for Greeny. A dumb base running move by Bill Buckner. He knows it right now. He played overly aggressive baseball, and it could hurt the Dodgers. Here it is. North nonchalance to start with, but look at Reggie. And what's this throw to Green? He got rid of the ball. 2 perfect throws. Great execution once again by the A's.
What a relay throw.
Fingers faces Billy Buckner, the Dodgers leadoff man in the 8th. Buckner's single goes through Bill North. Reggie Jackson backs him up. Jackson fires to Green. Green to Bando. He's out. Replay as a perfect relay effort from Jackson to Green to Bando turns Bill Buckner's gamble into a losing proposition for Los Angeles. Instead of having a man in scoring position with nobody out, the Dodgers' 8th inning threat is silenced.
Here's the relay throw again. Watch him unload right on the money to Sal Bando. As Buckner is out at third. He should have been on second with nobody out. The tying run on second.
Kurt, I feel Buckner ran in because of what we've heard. The Dodgers scouting reports have told their players to run on the A's outfielders and to run on Dick Green. And that scouting report has not proven to be very accurate here in this series.
Jim Wynn is fouled out, bounced out, fly to left with a sacrifice fly to bring in a run. Now Raleigh Fingers is behind 3-0, and Captain Bando decides to have a visit with him. And he's always telling Fingers, don't you ever make it easy for us. And Fingers usually says, get back to third and I'll do the pitching. Couldn't have a better relay throw than that, Tony. He used to make a lot of relay throws coming in from left. You know what it takes.
He got rid of the ball very quickly. He needed no help from anyone else. He knew right where the runner was. He was looking back and forth at the ball and the man, and here's Dick Green, and what he's done in the past few ball games is amazing defensively.
Let's give Jackson some credit for hitting the relay man. That's ball 4, and again the Dodgers have the tying run on. Here in the 8th inning with the A's ahead 3-2. Now Wynn has walked. The tying run at first. Wynn's a good base runner. Garvey singled in 3 times. He knocked it around.
That's not quite the right spot as we look at Ferguson. That Fingers wants to get that slider up and in. Or high, anyway. One can get jacked out of the ballpark.
This series wins 6 or 7 games. Garvey would have a shot at the all-time record. It's a high fly ball. Jackson settling under it. 2 down. 13 hits to the series of the all-time record. Garvey has 8. Joe Ferguson now. Ferguson has single. Taking a call, 3rd strike. Flying to left.
Alvin Dark is sending Sal Bando out to the pitching mound, almost every hitter, refreshing Raleigh's mind and what Ferguson likes best, trying to get him to get the ball down.
Before this game slips away, we want to wish a happy birthday to Junior Gilliam, the Dodger first base coach. He's 46 years old today, played in 7 World Series on 4 World Championship teams. There's a long blast, and I think it's going to be foul. Foul ball by Joe Ferguson. It's deep down the left field line.
Kurt, that ball went into the second deck out there, and there have only been 2 fair ball home runs hit into that second deck since the A's have played here. Bobby Darwin of the Minnesota Twins hit one in there, and oddly enough, Dick Green of the A's hit the other one in there, but he hit it well back in.
Fingers have been touched up more, roughed up more in this series than he has been the previous 2.
Yes, and, well, he's throwing against some pretty good hitters that he's come on late in the game with the Dodgers are really trying to let it go.
1 strike to Joe Ferguson. Win at first, 2 down. High and away. 1-1 pitch. That's right in there, fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. They're deep for Ferguson. Bill North's not playing him shallow now. He's way out there, the deepest. There goes a runner. There's a little pop in the shallow center. North comes on and has it. No runs, a hit, 1 there, 1 left. After the 8th inning, 3-2. Gene Tennis will hit at the number 9 spot leading off. And now an interesting story in the A's bullpen. Jim Hunter is warming up, the ace of the staff. He would pitch if this series goes to 6 games in Los Angeles Saturday. This could be a combination tune-up, or he could come in and face a batter or 2 if needed, like he did in Los Angeles Saturday when he struck out Joe Ferguson to wind up the first game.
Kurt, Raleigh Fingers has thrown a lot in this series. He pitched 4 1/3 innings the first game. Twice he's gone an inning and 2/3, an inning and a third last night. And it's not been an easy outing for him anytime he's gone out there. He's had to throw hard every pitch he's thrown. So it's very conceivable that if he gets in trouble in the 9th inning, Catfish Hunter, who will be loose by then, could come in and try to get an out or 2.
And as I recall, Monty, Catfish in Los Angeles Saturday had made his first relief appearance in 5 years.
5 years, and he said it's the only time in 5 years he's ever been nervous.
Gene Tennis up for his first time. 2 out of 8 in the series. He was the most valuable player of the 72 series against the Reds, hitting 2 homers his first 2 times at bat, setting a series record. Mike Marshall. That pitch is a strike. Rips the foul. That's the breaking stuff to him. 3rd strikeout in a row for Marshall, and he's 4th in relief. He's made only 1 mistake, and that was the home run ball to Rudy. Bert Campaneris, a single and 3 times. And he lays a bunt down, and he's on. He caught Shea playing back. A perfect bunt. Watch it. Dumped it off the fat part of the bat. Dropped that bat at the last second to disguise the bunt. Shea had no play. Shea has a weakness at third, is charging the bunt or the ball tapped slowly. Bill North now looks down for a possible hit-and-run play here. A bunt. Sal Bando's on deck. An extra run could be a big run for the A's. And they have North trying to bunt, and he fouls it off. The A's have 3 runs, 6 hits. The Dodgers have 2 runs, 5 hits. I understand they've already selected the most valuable player in the series. Well, we'll have to see what the Dodgers do in the 9th inning first. The word we have received unofficially is Raleigh Fingers. That's unofficial. If he holds the Dodgers in the ninth. If he doesn't, he'll lose that award very quickly. 2 balls, 2 strikes. To Bill North, 1 out. Campaneris at first. The A's are ahead, 3-2. North being played to left field.
Marshall checking, still checking. Campaneris' short lead, and backing out is Bill North. No pitch. So the count is 2-2. There goes Campy. The 2-2 pitch is low and ties him up, and Yeager drops it. And stealing second base unmolested is Bert Campaneris. And the 3-2 pitch, fastball, hit to straightaway center. Wynn goes back, tagging is Campy. Wynn with no arm. Campy's going to go to third. Pretty good throw, but it's still late. So with 2 out in the 8th inning, Oakland leading the Dodgers 3-2, and Sal Bando the batter. And Marshall, a sidearm fastball hit back to the mound. Marshall has it, turns, and throws him out. So for the A's in the 8th, no runs, 1 hit, a runner left at third. And at the end of 8, Oakland 3 and the Dodgers 2. Well, to the 9th inning, with Oakland 3 outs away from their 3rd consecutive World Championship. They've won 3 of the 4, and they're leading 3-2 here in the 9th. 3 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for Oakland. 2 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error for the Dodgers. Lindblad, the left-hander, Hunter, the right-hander, throwing in the A's bullpen. And in a moment, Ron Cey will be coming up. Cey will be followed by Bill Russell, and then we'll see about a Dodger hitter. Whether Yeager will bat, or whether they will go to one of the 3 left-hand hitters available, Joshua, Hopkins, or Crawford. Back with a fastball, and that's hit to right field. Jackson on the ball, to the track, and makes the catch. And almost dropped it, evidently. He lowered his head. I think that ball must have slipped around in the glove, but he held on to it. 1 away. So that might be Ron Cey's last at-bat. And now Willie Crawford will come up and hit for Bill Russell. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball on the hands, popped up. Dick Green is calling. Campaneris goes to the bag, and Greeny puts it away. And now the A's are 1 out away. And the batter will be Vaughn Joshua, batting for Steve Yeager. 1 out away from the championship by the Oakland A's. Fingers deals a comebacker. Fingers has it and throws to first. Here at the Oakland Coliseum, high up in the heavens, the rockets are going off. Down on the field, thousands of youngsters pouring out of the stands. The ball players battling for their lives to get back into the dressing room, and the A's have done it. They have beaten a young and inexperienced Los Angeles club 4 games to 1.
Raleigh Fingers, on his way to the World Series Most Valuable Player Award. Needs just 3 outs, and he can settle back into the driver's seat of a brand new automobile. Ron Cey flies out to the edge of the warning track, and Fingers breathes a sigh of relief. Willie Crawford pops up to Dick Green for the 2nd out. Vaughn Joshua represents the Dodgers' last chance. Raleigh Fingers wraps it up. and the Oakland Coliseum explodes into ecstasy as the Oakland A's capture their third successive World Championship. The 1974 World Series has been brought to you by your local bottler of Coca-Cola in association with Major League Baseball.